Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at the Sunday football match between the San Francisco 49ers at the Detroit Lions and going over the breakdown, the comparison, my fantasy picks, my prediction, everything you needed and want to know about this upcoming football game. But before that topic, got to hear from you guys. Drop down below in the comments what your score prediction is in this game. Is it a shootout, a blowout, one-score game, whatever it is? Comment down below, like I said, and we'll kind of see how our predictions match up at the end. As you can see here, Jimmy G versus Jared Goff is going to be in this matchup. Two guys that went to the Super Bowl and then 2 exact years later lost or on the brink of losing their jobs. Kind of impressive or scary to see, however you want to see it. Interesting to see is how I'm going to label it. But the two are facing off today. And really, before even getting straight, deep into this on the defense, at the coach, and the run game, I was looking at the over and unders for these games, and I gotta say, George Kittle, I think, is a hands down top 2 tight end in the league, and his over and under for this game is 50.5 yards. To me, that is a lock. Jimmy G, that is his number one guy. Yes, Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk are on the come up, but it's George Kittle. There's no way in his first game back he doesn't hit 50-plus yards, in my opinion. And then same thing for TJ Hockenson. Who else is Detroit going to throw to? Is Jared Goff going to throw to? No disrespect to their receiving room. I'll get into it later, who I think can break out. Tyrell Williams and up-and-comers. But TJ's still the number one guy. He's a top 5 tight end. George Kittle's a top 2 tight end. How did these guys not break 44 yards here in TJ and 50 yards there in George Kittle? To me, this sounds like easy money. I'm taking the over on both of these. I personally already did because I do think Vegas will soon change these odds. As the game gets closer, they're going to realize, yeah, we messed up on these, and they'll eventually fix them. But while it's available, I locked my money in on these 2 fantasy picks. Again, this isn't any advice, but I'm just telling you guys what I'm doing and what I'm watching at for this game for a couple fun fantasy picks if you're making a look or bet a little bit of cash just to make a Niners versus Lions game slightly more interesting. But like I said, I'll get deep into it right now. Looking at the matchup between these two, you can already see the odds are going to favor San Francisco in this game. Like you see, 74.9% is favored to the Niners and 25.1% is favored to Detroit. And that kind of makes sense. You look at the quarterback matchup, pick and choose who you want to really win this, as in who's the better quarterback, this quarterback battle. Do you think Jimmy G's better? Do you think Jared Goff is better? To me, I would personally take Jimmy Garoppolo over Jared Goff if I were starting a team today. That's how I put it into perspective. But I understand the argument both ways. I don't think either of them are spectacular. I think they both have their pros and cons. This is just a preference point in my opinion. Looking at the backfield, Raheem Mostert, DeAndre Swift, 2 guys that still got a little something to prove. Raheem Mostert has some experience in this league compared to DeAndre Swift, but he's coming off an injured year, and DeAndre Swift is just coming off a year that he needs to rebound off of. And I do think both of these guys can do it, especially in Kyle Shanahan's pretty electric run game and the Lions' improved O-line. DeAndre Swift can get it done, in my opinion. So another one, pick your poison. You want the up-and-comer, the guy coming off an injuries, whatever you want. It's a close matchup. Looking at the O-line, I do think the Niners slightly have a better O-line as far as readiness goes. I like what the Lions put together. They have a better O-line than most people would give them credit for. I like Taylor Decker. Frank Ragnow is probably a top 2 center, top 3 center in the league. And Penei Sewell. They just drafted a generational possible talent in their right tackle position according to this depth chart. But there have been some issues of him going through the rookie struggles in preseason. I wouldn't cry about it just yet. I do think he can possibly turn around and help out this O-line, but that's why I'm picking the Niners protection just as a little more ready to go because it's proven and they're ready to go and play right now. I think the Lions have a decent one in the making, but we really need to see Penei Sewell hit that next level. Again, receiving room, I'm not the biggest on the Lions receiving room. After TJ Hockenson, there is a huge drop-off. Tyrell Williams and, excuse me on this pronunciation, but Amon-Ra St. Brown, I've seen this guy all over fantasy football boards. He's apparently going to be the next best thing as far as fantasy goes. He is a sleeper. I don't know, entirely about him, but I do know he's looking like the second or third best option for Jared Goff. That's what I know. So, receiving room, I would definitely lean towards the Niners. Again, I like TJ and Terrell and Amon. But Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel are really on the come up. And George Kittle, as good as TJ is, George Kittle is better than him. So I would give the edge In my personal opinion, so far on offense, the edge goes to the Niners at quarterback. Again, ever so slightly. And I'm not going to argue against anyone that thinks Jared Goff is better. Backfield, toss-up. Offensive line is slightly more ready. Giving it to the Niners in receiving room. I'm giving it to the Niners. And head coach, I love Dan Campbell's energy and his presence and what he's doing and trying to change the lines around. But Kyle Shanahan, I got to roll with him as a better head coach for now. But moving on to the defense, we can scroll down and take an even closer look. Nick Bosa, if he's back week 1, and he's probably going to be if I had to say, but we'll just have to see. If he's not, that changes things a little bit. I still think if he's back week 1, this Niners defense is going to be looking not exactly Super Bowl, like 2019 Super Bowl defense to me. The Niners compared to their 2019 year, the defense is a little worse, but their offense a little better since then, if you ask me. But again, Nick Bosa with the Reek Armstead, D Ford, Fred Warner just got his big deal, Jason Verrett, Jimmy Ward. I don't know. I'm a little mixed on Jimmy Ward. I think I just kind of like his name for some reason. And then also signing Josh Norman again. He's not the 2015 Carolina Panthers Josh Norman, but is he a guy that can provide some veteranship and some mentorship to some of the younger guys on this team for sure. So I do like what the Niners are putting together, and I like their defense. It's looking pretty good when healthy. Moving on to the Lions defense. Some big guys I like, some of the obvious ones. Michael Brockers, Trey Flowers, Romeo Okwara. I like Jamie Collins. I do like Jeff Okudah. We just need to see if he can get to that next level. I believe, what was he drafted? 2020, Joe Burrow's year. I think he was number 3 overall, if I'm not mistaken. I think it went Joe Burrow, Chase Young, Jeff Okudah, and then I think Andrew Thomas to the Giants, if I'm remembering that correctly. Maybe he went 4th overall, maybe 5th overall, but I know he was extremely early, and he just isn't really living up to the hype right now. I think, it's just a rookie slumps. Rookies have mistakes. Rookies have rookie growing pains. So I do think he could turn around, but they do need him to hit that next level if they really want to be in some competition this year. So it's not really obvious. I'm not trying to be biased, and I'm not biased. I'm not a fan of either of these teams, but I am leaning towards the Niners. I think they have the slightly better quarterback. I think their backfield is debatable. I think the O-line is more ready. I think the receiving room is better. I think the defense is ready. I think the head coach is ready. The only thing the Lions have going for them is that they have a great tight end. They have an up-and-coming running back, and they're at home. That's really all I could put together for them. Of course, they have a couple of pieces around them that have great potential. Penny Sewell, Jeff Okudah, and some proven guys. Romeo Okwara, TJ Hockenson. Like I said, I've gone through this. But the Niners, they're probably going to be a playoff team. And the Detroit Lions, they're probably going to be a team that has a top 10, possibly top 5 draft pick. So they're just on 2 different statuses. I get in week 1, upsets can and do happen. Last year we saw the Jags beat a playoff team, Colts, in week 1. And the Jags never won again. And like I said, the Colts went on to the playoffs. So anything can happen, of course. But I just don't really see it coming into fruition for the Detroit Lions. Again, I'm wrapping my head around these bets, or fantasy picks, excuse me. I'm not really huge on putting a lot of money down, but these just seem like 2 locks. But I am more, even if you guys aren't interested, this is at thrivefantasy.com. You can use the link in bio. I'll leave a link in video and use our code 2MW to double your first deposit up to $100. But again, even if you're not interested in this contest, there are free contests. And if you're not interested in that, help a brother out. Just let me know who I should pick. I'm really curious if maybe I'm just blinded by this, but I think these are 2 easy over bets for TJ Hockenson over 43.5 yards. He just needs 44 more. And George Kittle over 50.5 yards. He just needs 51 or more. Again, even if you're not interested, let me know what I should do. And maybe I'm just blinded by it. But even if you are, thrivefantasy.com. Use code 2, capital M, capital W. Thanks for watching, guys. I do want to hear from you guys. Like I said, comment down below what your score predictions are. Mine personally, I think the Niners will win this somewhat dominantly. I'm thinking 27-14. San Francisco Niners start 1-0, and the Detroit Lions start 0-1. Still an interesting game you don't want to just miss out on, but I think the Niners will control the pace and the score and the record at the end of this game, but we'll just have to see how it turns out. As always, and of course,